At times when you've been a participant in a facilitated meeting or training workshop, you probably know within 10 minutes if the facilitator is strong enough to make it worth your time. So how do you know it? What is it really that separates great facilitators from good ones? Hi, I'm Michael Wilkinson. I'm the Managing Director of Leadership Strategies, the Facilitation company. And as you can see there, a couple of books that I've had the pleasure of writing. This workshop is truly backed by popular demand, as it's been selected by the IAF to be presented for the 14th consecutive year, and that's kind of cool. Well, what does the workshop cover? Let's go into it. Well, it's covering our course, The Effective Facilitator. That's a 4-day course that over 15,000 people have been trained in. So think of this as the one-day version of this course. And in that course, it covers 10 fundamental principles of facilitation and over 100 tools and techniques. And so from these tools, we found that there are 7 in particular that seem to separate great facilitators from good ones. We call them the 7 separators. So let me give you just a quick preview of what they are and the stuff that will be covered in the workshop. The number 1 separator, and the thing that we have found for facilitators who come to us and want to join our team, we have about a 1 to 8 acceptance rate, that typically the number 1 separator is energy. And first, great facilitators understand the impact that level 3 energy has on a group. And they know the strategies to get their energy up and what to do when it trails off, how to bring it back up following every break. Well, most people have trouble understanding where their level 3 is, so in this session, you will indeed identify your level 3 and strategies for maintaining it. We'll also cover what we call the secret of starting. What's that all about? Well, in the secret of starting, you'll learn that when executives walk into a room, they have the power. And you have at most 15 minutes, certainly no more than that, to have them transfer their power over to you. And so in this secret, you'll also learn what we've learned about what to do to get the executives to transfer that power. Well, let's go on to the second separator, which is asking starter questions. And so what do we mean by that? Have you ever asked a question and got complete silence? What do we mean? Well, it was so silent that you could actually hear crickets. Sort of like you had the feeling that maybe they were falling asleep on you. Well, most facilitators don't realize that the reason why that happens more times than not is because they ask what we call a type A question. When you ask a type A question, the chances are pretty high that you'll get crickets. But there's another question type, which we call type B. And I can honestly say that since I've been using this question type, I have never gotten crickets, except when I forgot to use the question type. So in the workshop, you'll learn how to create type B questions, and you'll have a chance to practice it as well. Well, let's go on to the third separator, using a full toolkit of question types. Well, not only do great facilitators know excellent starting questions, but also once participants begin responding, they know how to guide the group by using their toolbox of reacting questions. Now, most facilitators have only 2 or 3 reacting questions that they use over and over again, such as, what else? Tell me more about that, or why is that important? Well, in this third separator, you're going to learn 8 different reacting questions, when to use them, how to use them. You'll also get a chance to practice it as well. And so let's move on. The separator number 4 is a tough one. It has to do with respecting the power of the pen, and it's one of the hardest that we have found to teach. See, great facilitators recognize that it's really important that when you have the pen, you have the power. And what you do with the pen either empowers the group or disempowers it. Have you seen times when a participant said one thing and the facilitator actually wrote something else? Yes, that happens. Or even times when the facilitator has said, hey, this is what, you do mean this, don't you? Well, that's equivalent to abusing the power of the pen. What does that do? It subconsciously tells the listener, you don't know how to speak. Let me speak for you. And you know you really have abused the group when you'll have people saying things like, well, I don't know how to say this. Or you have other people correcting other people. Say, hey, the better way to say this is. So we want to avoid disempowering the group. But you might say, well, what if they say something that's long, a long dissertation? Well, we have techniques for that. What if what they say isn't clear? We have techniques for that. What if they say something that's wrong? We have techniques for that. And so we say, the power of the pen, use it, don't abuse it, make it theirs. Let's go into the fifth separator. See, good facilitators are able to control the discussion and lead the session and participants through each agenda item, sort of like a silo, one step at a time. Well, great facilitators know that a key is to show how every piece fits together. And they do that through this thing we call checkpoints, where they review, preview, and big view every time they start a new agenda item. As well, when they give directions, they know that there's a 5-step formula for giving directions so that you never get the, excuse me, what are you asking us to do again? Or, I'm confused, how do we do this? Or, why are we doing this? PDQs is a great strategy for giving fantastic directions so that people are ready to get to work and the directions are accurate, clear, and concise. The sixth separator is a favorite topic for many of the groups that go through this program. Now, great facilitators know how to manage dysfunction well. How do they do it? They focus on 3 things: conscious prevention, early detection, and clean resolution. And so we will, in the course, talk about 11 different dysfunctions. We'll talk about strategies for preventing them, for detecting them, and for cleanly resolving them. So let's go on, finally, to our last separator, designing customized processes. So great facilitators are able to construct agendas from scratch to address a specific need. While we provide a supply of agendas in our standard courses, we also know that you sometimes will have to construct an agenda from scratch. We have a 5-step formula for doing that, starting with determining the critical question. That is the most important step. Then from that, we go through a 5-step process that helps guide you in preparing a detailed agenda. Well, that's it. The 7 separators of facilitation excellence. In this course, I'll be starting with an overview after the welcome, and then covering 3 principles, 3 of the separators in the morning, and then in the afternoon, covering 4 more before reviewing and closing. So come join in for what will certainly be a highly engaged, highly productive day as we cover the 7 separators of facilitation excellence.